Will experience decide the winner? Benavidez vs. Morell breakdown. Many fans and analysts are debating whether David Benavidez's experience will be the key factor in his upcoming light heavyweight clash against David Morrell on February 1st at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. With Benavidez having fought and defeated several notable names, supporters believe his time in the ring gives him a significant edge. However, boxing history has repeatedly shown that experience alone does not guarantee victory. Other crucial factors, such as power, durability, stamina, and adaptability, often determine the outcome of a fight. Benavidez's last fight at 175 pounds raised concerns about his conditioning and endurance. Against Alexander Gvozdyk, a 37-year-old veteran, he started strong but faded after 6 rounds, taking far more punishment than expected. If that happens again, Morell could capitalize in the later rounds, turning the fight into a one-sided beating. Morell is not only younger, but also hits harder than Gvozdyk, making him an even more dangerous opponent. If Benavidez's stamina fails him, experience won't save him from Morell's power and relentless attack. Benavidez's father and trainer, Jose Benavidez Sr., has been vocal about their confidence, insisting they are willing to fight anyone for the right price. He believes that Morell's lack of experience will be his downfall. However, the question remains, is Benavidez's experience against older fighters truly an advantage, or is it misleading? A closer look at Benavidez's resume shows that most of his biggest wins have come against fighters past their prime. While he has defeated some respectable names, many of them were already slowing down in their careers. Morell, on the other hand, has been battle-tested in the amateur circuit, where he fought some of the best boxers in the world before turning professional. His amateur experience, combined with his aggressive style and knockout power, could prove to be a far greater threat than the aged fighters Benavidez has previously faced. If Benavidez has mainly fought opponents who were slower and less dangerous, will he be able to handle someone as explosive as Morell? The fight on February 1st could reveal whether Benavidez's past opponents truly prepared him for an elite light heavyweight contender, or if his experience has been exaggerated by the level of competition he has faced. Beyond experience, the real question is, who has the better athleticism, punching power, and endurance? Morell has built a reputation for being a heavy hitter with explosive speed, making him an incredibly dangerous opponent. Benavidez, while known for his relentless pressure and volume punching, has shown weaknesses in his gas tank, particularly in longer fights. One of the biggest concerns for Benavidez is whether he can maintain his energy levels across all 12 rounds. His fight against Gvozdyk exposed his endurance issues, as he began slowing down significantly after the 6th round. If Morell applies pressure and targets his body, it could drain Benavidez even faster, leading to a major shift in momentum as the fight progresses. Unlike previous opponents, Morell won't let Benavidez off the hook if he starts fading. Additionally, ring intelligence and adaptability will play a major role. Who can adjust their strategy better under pressure? If Benavidez can't keep up with Morell's speed and movement, he may be forced into uncomfortable situations, or his experience won't help him. Morell is not just a puncher. He is a smart and calculated fighter who knows how to exploit an opponent's weaknesses. If Benavidez struggles with his stamina once again, Morell could systematically break him down and dominate the later rounds. Another critical aspect of this fight is whether Benavidez has truly been tested against fighters his own size. Throughout most of his career, he fought at super middleweight, 168 pounds, where he often had a significant size and strength advantage over his opponents. However, now that he has moved up to light heavyweight, 175 pounds, he can no longer rely on that edge. If Benavidez had spent his career competing against natural light heavyweights like Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, or Jay Opetaia, would he still be undefeated today? Many critics believe that his success has been inflated due to fighting smaller or aging opponents. Moving up in weight means facing stronger, more durable fighters, and Morell could be the first to truly test Benavidez at this level. If Benavidez finds himself struggling against Morell's power, speed, and conditioning, it will prove that his success at super middleweight was largely due to size advantages rather than pure skill. This fight will be a defining moment in Benavidez's career. Can he prove that he belongs in the light heavyweight division? or will Morell expose his limitations? The outcome of this fight could reshape the light heavyweight division and determine who gets the next shot at the biggest names in boxing. If Benavidez wins, he will solidify himself as a true contender at 175 pounds, setting up potential fights against champions like Beterbiev or Bivol. However, if Morell pulls off the victory, it could signal the rise of a new star in the division, opening the door for exciting matchups with other top fighters. Boxing fans are divided. Some believe Benavidez's pressure style and experience will be too much for Morell, while others think Morell's power and athleticism will prove to be the difference. Regardless of the outcome, one thing is certain: this fight will answer major questions about both fighters' true potential at light heavyweight. February 1 will reveal whether Benavidez is a legitimate force at 175 pounds, or if Morell is the real future of the division. The pressure on Benavidez, is he overhyped or the real deal? David Benavidez has built a reputation as a relentless pressure fighter with an aggressive, high-volume punching style. His fans believe this approach makes him one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. However, critics argue that his style has been successful only against smaller and older opponents, fighters who couldn't match his size, speed, or work rate. Now that he's moved up to light heavyweight, the real test begins. Can he apply the same pressure against bigger, stronger fighters like Morell, or will his weaknesses finally be exposed? This fight carries immense pressure for Benavidez. If he dominates Morell, it will silence his critics and prove that he belongs among the elite in this division. But if he struggles or worse, loses, it could raise serious doubts about his ability to compete at 175 pounds. A loss here could also damage his marketability, potentially costing him future mega fights against names like Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol. The stakes are incredibly high, and Benavidez must deliver a convincing performance to maintain his momentum. While Benavidez has been the center of attention, David Morrell enters this fight as the dark horse, eager to prove himself on the biggest stage of his career. Though he has fewer professional fights, Morell's background as an elite amateur in Cuba has prepared him for this moment. He's not just a power puncher, he's a highly skilled boxer with speed, movement, and a dangerous counter-punching ability. If Morell wins, it will shake up the entire light heavyweight division. A victory over Benavidez would instantly position him as a legitimate title contender, possibly opening doors to major fights against Bivol, Beterbiev, or even Canelo Alvarez. This fight isn't just about beating Benavidez, it's about making a statement to the world that Morell is the next big star in boxing. A loss for Benavidez would be devastating. He has spent years building his reputation, and many consider him a future superstar. However, if Morell dominates him, it could expose serious flaws in Benavidez's game, flaws that top-level fighters in the division would be eager to exploit. Would he move back down to 168 pounds in search of easier fights? Or would he stay at light heavyweight and risk facing even more dangerous opponents? A defeat could also ruin his chances of securing the high-profile fights he's been chasing. His dream matchups against Canelo, Bivol, or Beterbiev could disappear if he doesn't prove himself at 175 pounds. This makes February 1 a must-win fight for Benavidez, as a loss would force him to rebuild his career from scratch. This fight is one of the most intriguing matchups of the year because both fighters have so much to prove. Benavidez is the more experienced pro, but Morell has the power, speed, and skills to pull off an upset. The key factors in this fight will be stamina, defense, and ability to handle pressure. If Benavidez can maintain his pace without fading, he might overwhelm Morell with his high-volume attack. But if Morell can withstand the early pressure and take advantage of Benavidez's defensive flaws, he could land the cleaner, harder shots and wear him down as the fight progresses. Either way, boxing fans are in for an explosive showdown, and the winner could be next in line for a shot at the division's biggest names. The stage is set for a fight that could reshape the landscape of the light heavyweight division. David Benavidez vs. David Morrell isn't just another high-stakes matchup, it's a war that will determine the next true star of boxing. Benavidez, known as the Mexican Monster, has built a fearsome reputation with his relentless pressure and overwhelming volume punching. His supporters believe he's the future of the division, but there's a major question hanging over him. Can he handle a younger, more powerful opponent in Morell? The Cuban powerhouse has been a wrecking force in his career, dispatching opponents with brutal precision. His mix of speed, power, and ring intelligence makes him a serious threat to anyone in the division. If Benavidez thinks he can bulldoze his way to victory, he might be in for the biggest shock of his career. Will Morell expose Benavidez as overhyped, or will Benavidez prove that he truly belongs at 175 pounds? Many fans believe that Benavidez's experience gives him the edge in this fight, but experience won't save him if Morell is the stronger, tougher, and more explosive fighter. In his last fight at 175 pounds, Benavidez looked vulnerable. He took serious damage and struggled with fatigue in the later rounds. Against Morell, that could be a fatal weakness. Morell isn't just powerful. He's a ferocious finisher who doesn't let opponents off the hook once he has them hurt. If Benavidez starts to fade in the second half of the fight, Morell will be waiting to unleash a barrage of devastating shots that could send shockwaves through the sport. This isn't just about two fighters clashing, it's about survival in one of boxing's most dangerous divisions. Will Benavidez silence his doubters, or is Morell about to announce himself as the next dominant force in boxing? One thing is certain: this fight will not be for the faint of heart.